Good morning, freshmen. Today is Wednesday, the October 16th. We are looking at Chapter Cell Functions and Data Organization. And yesterday we had covered cell styles and different formattings that had started on page 245 with planets and ended on page 247. We also talked about absolute and relative cell references. Remember, an absolute cell reference includes the dollar signs. Remember, if you would copy that formula or function, that cell reference stays the same. The shortcut to get the dollar signs is F4. Remember, relative cell references change as you copy the information down. So what we're going to do, we're going to practice with those again. This starts on page 249 with the employee commission. Throughout this video, you need to pause it and try these different items. That is the one way it'll help you understand this. If you get lost, stop, rewind the video, go back and try again. Also remember, follow the steps in your book. So on page 249, we're starting out with employee commission. This is going to be a brand new worksheet that you create in Excel. And as you can see here, I have already created all that you see on page 249. So what we're going to do, we're going to start in cell C6. All formulas and functions, remember, start with an equal sign. We're going to take our sales, which is in B6, times our rate. We do not want our rate to change as we move down, so we're going to add the dollar signs. F4 key is that shortcut. You can always type them in. Then just hit enter. Then you can fill it down. You can see our relative cell reference is our B6. Our absolute is our B3. As you show your formulas, you can see that on each one. So we are going to also format these. We did this last chapter. Remember, this is up in general. We want currency. And as you can see, it's formatted for us that way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to calculate our total commission. This is step number 4, letter A. So we're going to type in total. And we are going to put this as heading 4, write a line. Once again, steps in your book. Here we are going to add in our sum function. We had done this already. Remember, you can type it in, or you can do it, I call it the lazy way. Click on auto sum, double check the cells that it is selecting, hit enter if it's good. It is in there for you. The other way, remember, you can start typing it in, then click and drag down. You don't even need to include the closed parenthesis, just hit enter, does the same thing. Make sure you go ahead and save this. And make sure you save it in your documents. And this is going to be employee commission. We also are going to add our headers and footers. Don't forget that is under insert. Put your name in the header, current date in the footer. Also remember, I want to show grid lines and headings for when we print, so ensure those boxes are checked. Okay guys, we're starting again on page 252. We're going to actually look at commission summary. This is a data file within Moodle, so make sure you pause the video, go open that, and then you can follow right along. Once again, it starts on page 252. Some of this we already started yesterday by reviewing some of these different items. So what we're going to do, we're going to use our insert function item. So in cell B18, so it's right next to total, you're going to click there. You can go to formulas, and this part we did not look at yesterday. So formulas up here across the top, insert function. This is the same video the same dialog box that we got to by clicking the FX button within this, I always call it the data entry bar. So here you go. We insert our function. You can scroll through, you can find what you need on here. Sum is usually your first one. Select it, tell it OK. Then you want to go find your range. You can see that it already has a range in there. click on your little red arrow, go highlight it, click on your red arrow again, and then just tell it, okay, your number is in there for you. Then we can go ahead and copy that over to the right into our commission column. In B19, we can go into formulas. Again, we're already there. We have this more functions. So there, you're going to go to statistical, and we want average. So it does the same thing. It's trying to get your range again. Click your arrow, go select your range, click your arrow again, tell it okay. However, what I would suggest, this is me personally, I would go back to home. Over here on auto sum, you have your drop down arrow. Average, it takes a guess for you, so you would check that. You have your little anchor points, one on each corner. So I would have it where you get the two-headed arrow, click and drag up, and then it changes it for you. The other thing you can do, you can start typing it in, equals average, and most people find that to be the quickest. Go and select the cells you need, enter your set. Minimum and maximum are a couple other numbers, or a couple other functions that you can use. Minimum is always equals min. It's going to find the smallest number for you. Maximum is always equals max. It finds the largest number, and then you do the same thing as you did before. Now, there you can see not all the cells pulled across the formatting. Your minimum and total did not. So one thing you can do is your format painter that we used in Word, we can use here. Just pick one of these that's correct. Double click on your format painter. It loads your cursor so you have the pretty little paintbrush thing. You can see it over here in the blue space. Click, drag over, you highlight them. Then it looks the same. Escape to get rid of your marching ants. Here's that error that we talked about yesterday. The formatted number is too big for the cells. Resize your cells by double clicking between the B and C, and you can see how much it has changed. You can always get rid of your decimal places also. Remember, the quick way is right up here up at the top. I would only suggest that if you have 2 zeros on the end. Otherwise, most people like to see the cents on there. Alright guys, now we're going to pick up on page 255. We are in planets. So this is something we worked on yesterday. If we had followed all the formatting clear through, you can see from my screen this is what yours would look like. Make sure you have planets open. Ensure Mercury is in there with the 4878. That's the big thing. Does not matter if it's formatted exactly the same. So what we're going to do, we are going to work with a couple more functions now, and we're going to work on sorting. So here we're going to try to scale our planets to a smaller size. So in cell C2, we are going to enter the heading of scale. We are going to right align, and we are also going to apply heading number 3 to the label. From there, in C3, we're going to type equals B3 divided by 1000. So our value is 12.104. So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to round this so that way there's only one decimal place. We don't need to know about the 0.4. Make sure when you do these, you get every piece in here. Usually somebody will miss one piece of the argument. It does not work properly. My first question to you will be, did you include every piece? Do you have your decimal places specified? Do you have all the parentheses you need, even the wording? So what you're going to do, you click into cell C3, go to your data entry bar. Between the equal sign and the B, you're going to click. You can see your insertion point blinking. We're going to type in the word round. It does not have to be capitalized. Then we're going to open our parenthesis, because this shows our arguments. From up here, you can see, here's your function. Here's what you're going to have it do. Then you need a comma. So this is trying to make it very easy for you. And then how many places, the num digits, is how many places do you want it to round to? In our case, we only want it to round to 1 decimal place. Close your parentheses, hit enter. You can see that it's now rounded for you to 12.1. Now, if you just went through and got rid of the decimal places, it would not round. So if we fill down, which we just did here, and we're going to go to B4, we're going to get rid of this whole rounding in here. We're going to just show you 12.756. And here's our error saying it's inconsistent formula. So if we just get rid of decimal places, it does round it. It's not always a guarantee that it will. So that's why you use this round function. Then you can go ahead and fill it down just like before. Now, we want to format our scales to be exactly like everybody else. So what I would do, click on your format painter, and it will change everything the way it needs to be. But once again, that's just me. I use the format painter. If you would rather go in, create your own cell style, you certainly may. I find format painter to be much, much easier. So now what we want to do is we want to sort our data. If we would just click in Venus, go to data, and click A to Z, it doesn't always change everything. This case it did because Excel expanded the selection for us. Anytime you get ready to sort, I would highly suggest you highlight your information. That way it guarantees every piece is included. Sometimes, it's not as often with this Excel now, but sometimes you do have those issues that the words would sort, the numbers won't go with them. So highlight it. Remember, A to Z is smallest to largest, or alphabetical order. Z to A is largest to smallest, or reverse alphabetical order. As you can see, it's already sorted for you. Now, what if we want to sort by diameter? Once again, highlight your information. We're just going to leave it highlighted. Up here under the data tab, you go to sort. I use this quite often. A lot of people will use this quicker than the A to Z. So here you have sort by. Well, what column do you want? If we have labels, they're in here. If not, they're just labeled as column A, B, C, and so on and so forth. So here we want to sort by our diameter, and we're going to sort on values. You can tell that you have colors that you can select also. And we want largest, smallest. We can add a level then. So if they have the same diameter, then we can add a level, and we can have it sort by name next. Or you could have it sort by scale. Doesn't matter. However, for us, we don't need that second level. We'll just delete it. Tell it okay. Everything moves for you. That's the easiest way to sort things, especially if it's for a different column other than the very first one. This particular exercise, if I didn't say it, did start on page 255, so go through, try out. Now, what's going to happen is because of limited time on the video recording device that I'm using, the video is going to stop, and then there will be a second video that will start in with the if functions, and that will go along with starting at page 259. So go back, see anything that you need to see again, practice, and then pick up the next video. We'll see you guys in a couple minutes.